Residents along the coastal belt of the central region are worried about strange weeds which are said to have been washed ashore during the weekend. And the fishermen along the coast also say the brownish substances are impeding fishing activities. Central Regional Correspondent Richard Kwejunyako has been there and reports that the weed-like substances from the sea are also hindering activities of Easter holiday revelers or makers who have traveled far and near to the central region. Researchers from the Cape Coast University have collected samples of the substances to study, but they are yet to come out with their findings. Similar weeds also invaded Axim in the Nzima East municipality of the Western region last month. Fishermen there also expressed worry over the sudden invasion of their beaches by strange weeds. The strange huge weeds, which had covered almost the whole shore, stretching from Diskov to Axim, were said to be causing nuisance to both children and fishmongers. In Axim, there were reports that the weeds were producing worms. The Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, is yet to come out with an official statement or report on these sudden weed invasions in the two regions, the Western and the Central region.
Well, the Ghana Police Service says that it has its eyes on the Eastern region this Easter. They have infiltrated the Kwewu townships as part of an initiative that was started last year to reduce criminal activity in the area. Efuako Harrison reports this has added some mixed feelings to the Easter mood in Kwewu.
This is Kwewu Oboming, one of the towns that sees a lot of action during the Easter festivities in Kwewu. Food, drink and music. That's what it seems the Easter hype is all about here. And as early as 8 a.m. on Good Friday, some people have already had their fair share of alcohol. And so the police have been here since Friday, the 11th of April, with their eyes glued for any sign of vice or upheaval.
We have even the formed police unit here. We have the visibility police personnel here. We have the public affairs department, and we are setting up an exhibition at the center of Empress or around the roundabout. We have the motor traffic and transport unit personnel here to manage traffic within the Kwewu enclave. We want police visibility because it has been tried and tested that wherever there is police visibility, there is deterrence of crime or deterrence of criminals.
And Kwewu has seen its fair share of criminal activity during the Easter holidays. This is why since 2013, the police service has decided to beef up security in the townships.
They have recorded petty thievery, pickpocketing, bag snatching, and sometimes assault with stabbing, and sometimes occasionally robbery.
But not everyone is thrilled about this new initiative. This kebab seller Emmanuel Asante has been coming to Kwewu Oboming for the past 4 years to sell every Easter. He believes the police presence is rather slowing down business in town.
Fine, as well as police were here last year hunting people, beating people here and there, but this year that has made them fear and panic. But next year, I hope they are going to be reduced, and what they have been doing for last year or last 2 years is not going to be happening again.
However, DSP Cephas Arthur assures the public the police is only here to ensure law and order.
The bedrock, the underlying principle is populate the entire place and give assurance to revelers.
Even though some small business owners like Emmanuel might believe police presence is downing the fun and therefore his profit, these holiday revelers are not bothered by the service at all. For Joy News, Efuako Harrison, Kwewu Oboming.
Well, and so Kwewu may be all about the fun and how you can have a lot of enjoyment during the period. And during that very period also, we have a lot more business people who want to undertake business activities. But Ifwa Kwan Harrison is telling us some of them are not so thrilled this year.
Business is slower than usual. That's the general sentiment for most business owners in Kwewu this Easter. Stephen Tay is a pub owner from Kaswa. He has been coming to Kwewu every year for the past 4 years, moving his business to take advantage of the Kwewu Easter crowd. It takes about 2 weeks to set up.
This is my second time setting up here, but normally I do set up down there. But because of, this place is hot cake. Yeah, so I decided to relocate here, so that at least I get a bigger space too, because down there there's no space, and when you got space you can push more, people can sit down, feel comfortable, and then where the action is too. Probably they used to do the carnival here, so the crowd too is here. Definitely it boosts our sales. But moving towns for business is not as easy as packing house to set up. For an establishment like Stephen has, it can take months of preparation. In all, this year my budget has been big. In all, I've spent closer to 4,000. 4,000? Yeah, 4,000 Ghana cedis. In setting up this place. Because it involves buying rent, lights, permits too. And then the revenue, setting up the place here, the traditional authorities too, they take their cards. As you can see, they're giving us tax. So when you register, they give you a tag. So everybody is exhibiting here, I have a tag for them. But he says business this year has started slower than usual, and he's not the only one. Craftsmen Bobolati and chairman who have come here from Tema are already disappointed by no sales.
But the market is slow for we. The market is slow because last year, say by this time there we sell almost just pieces go away. But this year nothing we are seeing. True. Since yesterday the rain was raining up to today. Nothing we see. We woke up this morning, nothing we sell. But we are still working still.
But it's only Friday, so don't you think it'll pick up as the days go by?
But we know that, but it depends. The last year things was going, everything was going cool. By this year nothing we are seeing it. You understand? Yeah. So we are also worried now.
But the slow Good Friday crowd does not deter businessman Daniel Tinkwine. This is the second time he has set up his bar. He believes business will pick up.
I think it's too early to judge. The Easter starts from Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then Monday, those people who are going to beach will leave. Then remain those people who will leave, who will remain. So that we'll chill out to Tuesday. Oh, I'm ready to make big. I'm ready to make big.
Back to Stephen Tay's bar, and he hopes he can at least break even.
Who we know they will come for us are now on the way coming.
For Joynews, Ifwa Kwan Harrison, Kwewu Oboming.
Well, we're still in the Easter mood, and philanthropy is not only for the white man, where the words of wisdom shared by former presidential hopeful for the People's National Convention, Dr. Edward Mahama, at this year's Joy FM Easter Soup Kitchen. The event brought together thousands of persons who were treated to assorted finger foods and free medical screening. The event took place at the Efwa Sutherland Children's Park here in Accra.
The 15th edition of the Easter Soup Kitchen, which is part of Joy FM's corporate social responsibility to the disadvantaged in society, did not only provide a full-pack Easter treat, but scored some patronage for some society leaders. Former presidential hopeful Dr. Edward Mahama, who joined the medical team to give free medical screening, expressed joy at the turn of events, but admonished against waiting for developed countries to help the poor.
Well, I think it's good to show philanthropy. And Joy has started this thing for some time now. We have, as a people, always thought that the white people are philanthropic. But I think it's good to see we ourselves doing good for ourselves. And so when I heard it, I said I would also come. I'm not rich, but at least I have the skill to provide care for people.
He wasn't alone. Minister of Gender and Social Protection, Nana Oyelisa, who passed through, interacted with the team and the beneficiaries. 2012 presidential candidate aspirant for the New Patriotic Party, Alan Tremantin, joined the team later in the day. At the CS Joy FM Easter Soup Kitchen, beneficiaries received free medical screening. They were also registered onto the National Health Insurance Scheme at absolutely no cost. Amidst the loud music, they were also fed assorted foods and drinks. But the goodies did not end there. The beneficiaries, mostly female headquarters, were given take-home packages consisting of clothes and finger foods. As expected, they wanted more, though they were grateful for the kind gesture.
Oh. There are many fires.
Oba has a dinner with whom?
Oh, I have fun. You buy any yaji. The Amuye, and Tianiadi. Oma share come, Oma Sama insurance free. I bet it free near Sako.
Edu is the saying, Ankawamba Hanka, oh, yeah, day.
Oh, Unya.
The
organizers of the event are looking forward to an even bigger one next year.
Well, I have to say congratulations to all those who helped out at the Joy FM Easter Soup Kitchen. Now we have to turn our attention to what really happened inside the churches. And church leaders, well, they've been advising Ghanaians to eschew all forms of selfishness and sacrifice for the nation. They urge Ghanaians to use the season to reject corruption and healthy politicking, among other social vices.
In white attire, many Christians marked Easter Sunday, celebrating the biblical resurrection of Jesus Christ. Many churches were filled to capacity, with some ending their crusades and conventions with special healing services and offering. The leader and general overseer of Peaceful Chapel International, Bishop Michael Adolfo, called for unity in the country.
We can maintain it by perpetually giving ourselves to Jesus all the time. He must be overlord and master of our life all the time. If you do that, then we can maintain. Not only that, we must not say we are Christian with our mouth. We must be able to live Christ and then show love to our neighbors. If you have enmity and differences with our neighbors, then we can maintain Easter. So let's show love to the needy, to the poor. Let's show love to those who offend us. You know, Ghana, we are not one in terms of politics, religion, and culture. But we can maintain Easter by showing love, notwithstanding the different ideologies and philosophies we have. One nation, one people, one God.
Easter, let say, yes, we are what we know actually. When we say so, Babam for so, Cassia, the Amawa, how be out them in the Twitter. Not the Unimi be answer, you don't hear. Na numu na urade bejina obeboa ama otumi aka akoba bi hodo ama unkunim die etumi abem.
The First Lady of the Breakthrough Chapel International, Lady Reverend Regina Frima Owusu, said, as true witnesses to the death and resurrection of Christ Jesus, it was important for all Christians to emulate the good examples of Christ, honesty, love and care for one another.
That we should seek the kingdom of God first. And when you do that, every other thing that you are believing God for will come. But most of the time, the youth, you are looking forward for the other things before seeking the kingdom. But I believe if you seek the kingdom, for instance, me, I was not like this. But because I decided to seek the kingdom of God first, all other things I'm looking.
Well, good advice. Seek the kingdom of God first, and all other things shall be added unto you. But what is in a name? If you call a rose by any other name, will it affect its smell? That is a quote from the book Romeo and Juliet. The biblical name Judas Iscariot is synonymous with betrayal, so not many people are called Judas. Now, the big question is, would you name your child Judas?
Now, for those who don't know, Judas is one of the 12, and I'm also told he was the treasurer. But many people, especially Christians, seem not to put the name Judas in a very good light. Today is Easter Sunday, marking the resurrection of Jesus Christ after his crucifixion. We hit part of Accra to find out whether indeed anybody at all would want to name his son after Judas.
Notion behind the name Judas. I mean, everyone has been stereotyped to believe that Judas is a bad person. Judas Iscariot, yeah, he's a bad person. So I doubt I'd name my child after Judas. No.
Oh, I will not. There are so many names that I will not want to. I will not make it a big, case to name my child, Judas in that way. Why? Yeah, because I think that my influence with names, you see, the effect of names on this thing, I will not do that because I can't name a child as a reckless person, you see, as a child of perdition and all that. I can't do that.
For some Christians like Harry and Johnson, naming their children after Judas will not be too difficult a decision to make.
Judas is a human being created in the image and after the likeness of God, because that's what the Bible says. And so I can name my son after Judas.
If Judas means consecration, like I'm telling you, or praise, there is nothing wrong with it. Just that the Iscariot carries something negative, and so it deters us from naming our children with that name, but there is nothing wrong with that. From the Bible's perspective, there's nothing wrong with it.
The news team sought to find out from the parish priest of the Christ the King Church in Accra, Very Reverend Father Andrew Campbell, whether it is appropriate for Christians to name their children after Judas.
Told Jesus just for £5, which is less than 20 cedis, you sell your master for 20 pieces of silver, for 30 pieces of silver. If I call my child Judas, people will call him, he's a stingy, he betrayed Jesus. The stigma is there. So nobody will call themselves after Judas, and I wouldn't advise them. No, I wouldn't.
But will Father Andrew Campbell baptize someone named Judas?
Would I baptize? I'd ask him the reason why. I'd ask him, why is he baptizing such and such? I'll leave it to him. This is what his choice is. How can I refuse? I leave it to him. If he can understand that God in his mercy and love would have forgiven Judas and such, but if he sees Judas in a bad light, that Judas gone to hell and Judas such and such, then I wouldn't baptize.
Many biblical characters like Peter, Manasseh, Jacob and a host of others at a point in time fell short of the glory of God. Yet these are very common names in many Christian homes. So what went wrong with Judas? Is it because his sin was associated with the Messiah? It is obvious that the role the man Judas Iscariot played in the crucifixion of Jesus Christ has created misconceptions about whether it is safe for Christians to name their children after him. But misconceptions that will require a lot of scholarly biblical interpretations to correct. Redwan Karim Dini Osman, Joynews, Accra.
Do you know anybody who's called Judas? Do you know anybody who's called Judas?
Yeah, I've seen it at the end credit of a film before, a feature film I watched, a Hollywood film, yeah. And I've even seen Saul before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
I haven't met any Judas in my life, at least not yet.
I've just read it as part of the end credit. Yeah. And I've been wondering how, sometimes you want to give a meaning to a name. And, well, your family would want to know, or even your spouse would want to know. The child in me, how would you want to name the child? And then you open your mouth and say, Judas.
Yeah. Dennis, our sound technician, said something when the story was rolling.
Said what?
Do not judge.
Yeah,
who are you to judge?
Judas. Do not judge him. Oh, okay. Let's turn our attention away from names, because the district chief executive of Isujamine, Thomas Ampim Dakom, well, he has called for unity among Enum traditional leaders. He said the lack of unity among the chiefs, well, have hampered development of the area because different factions oppose projects for their community.
the chiefs of Anum traditional area have been disagreeing about the establishment of projects and where projects should be sited for many years. The result is that development in Anum area has stalled. The DCE for Sejaman, Thomas Ampemnyako, is not too happy about the incessant disunity and has called on them to address their grievances and put their communities first.
It is an opportunity for them to put aside all their differences and come together, so we will seize this opportunity to benefit from our share of the Better Ghana agenda.
He outlined some developmental projects the district will be tackling in the coming years.
We are focusing on education, we are focusing on tourism development, and once we develop tourism, employment will also be created, jobs are going to be created.
Thomas Ampemnyako also advised the youth to aspire to make a difference in the community.
Well, computers donated to the Abrim Asiam Basic School to facilitate ICT education have become relics on display. This is because electricity supply to the school has been disconnected. Students only go to the computer room to share or to stare at the computers without operating them.
The Abrim Asiam Basic School has only 13 computers for the entire student population, but the number of computers is not really their biggest headache, rather electricity supply to the school. The headmaster of Abrim Asiam Basic School, Samuel Kofi Anko, said the school was disconnected from the national grid several years ago for non-payment of bills. He said lack of electricity is affecting ICT education in the school.
The ICT department, for instance, we don't have electricity as at now. We have been disconnected, and the amount involved is so large, is so huge that we find it extremely difficult to operate the computers, that is the laptops that have been donated to the school. Now we have 11 computers donated by the government. Then the MP, Honorable Dr. Nana Atuata, was also involved, so he gave us 2 additional. So right now we have 13. But taking a look at the number of students that we have in the school compared to the 13, averagely we have about one computer to about 13 students, which is also not very good enough. And then the computer lab too is sad that we don't have tables and chairs where the children can sit comfortably to operate the laptops.
The headmaster said their school was constructed by the people of Abrim Asiam with support from other benevolent organizations. He therefore appealed to government to complement their effort by reconnecting electricity to the school. Georgina Pierce report for Joynews.
Well, so that's it for the top headlines we have for you. Now, our headlines before we take a wrap on the news.
All right, so residents along the coastal belt of the central region are worried about strange weeds said to have been washed ashore during the week.
Well, revelers, they'll be having a good time at Kwewu, and we know that is the period where Easter festivities there are up to the roof. But in the meantime, though, the business owners who have displayed their wares just for revelers say they've not been too happy this very festive season.
And church leaders have been advised, Ghanaians to eschew all forms of selfishness and sacrifice for the nation as we celebrate Easter. That will be it for the AM News. Stay with us in a little bit. We'll bring you sports. It's brought to you by Cowbell.
Let's give you what the details are of sports this morning. And today, we do what we usually don't do. We give you a preview of what really the stories are as they've been reported on various news portals or sports page portals, not only in Ghana but from around the world. Many of the notable ones. And we'll have to start first locally. This is how the sports section of myjoyonline.com has reported sports from over the weekend. And we have, it says, impressive hearts down, big chain, and you soon see it on your screens. And talking about a very spirited performance from Accra of folk that inspired a feeling of hope amidst their fans following their recent slump. And you also have a story about Samuel Nkum's second coming, and wondering whether it's due to his exploits in Greece. It's a second time for him continuing to shine for Ghana sport. We also have the CAF Confederations Cup, AC Leopards 2, Mediema Neil, and US boxer. We're being told that it's U.S. boxer who is a subject of a feature film, a Hollywood feature film, Hurricane Carter, has died at the age of 76. And Cavani scores brace as PSG, they win League Cup, and we also have Advantage Liverpool as Sunderland stand Chelsea from over the weekend. And following that, Sundowns coach has praised Ghana's defender Rashid Sumaila. He's one of the defenders who is set to be in contention to select, and so those are the stories we have on the sports page of myjoyonline.com. But now let's go to the next local portal. We have Ghana's under 17. That's the GhanaSoccerNet.com. That says that Ghana's under 17 team, they won a 4-nation tournament in Namibia. And the performance of Ghanaian players abroad, it says it was a drought weekend for Ghanaian players as no player scored. That is, as far as football is concerned. They have the match report of New Edubiasi United. They won against Sekendi Hazakis 1-0, and there's also the match report of Accra House of Folk 2-1 against Bechem United. And the 2014 World Cup details follow, with a lot more news about Ghana's team. An ex-Black Star goalkeeper wants Kwarase in post, just because the gentleman who was man the post during the part of the qualifiers, Fatal Dauda, who plays for Orlando Pirates, is still warming the benches. Sometimes he doesn't even make the benches at all, and that's a concern for former players of the Black Stars. We also have a match report of Amidal's Professionals, who beat the team from the Gold Town, Ash Gold, 2-1. And so those are the way the reports have been splashed on the page, GhanaSoccerNet.com. Now let's go to the BBC Sports page. And Liverpool edge closer to title win. And it's also because, well, after Chelsea slumping against Sunderland over the weekend, we had Liverpool edging closer to title win, and so they've struck the lead up the EPL table to 5 points. And you have a picture there of Sterling, and then also Luis Suarez, the gentleman who caught the ball in the post of his team during the World Cup in South Africa, in that very match against Ghana. Everton's top 4 hopes alive after they won 2-0 against Manchester United. But we also bring you some Formula 1 news, as third consecutive race win a dream, according to Hamilton. And Lewis Hamilton said it was a dream to have won 3 consecutive races with Mercedes this very season. And Liverpool is closer to league heaven. Well, I'm a Chelsea fan, but I mean, once Liverpool has done well for the season, I guess a win for them will be bad at all. And you have Gav Crook's team of the week. Okay, we have the last page. We're looking at Ramsey back with a bang, and you have some. Well, so they say Ramsey back with a bang, and so those are the highlights of what the stories are. And we have Premier League, Liverpool match on, United woes continue, Norwich 2, Liverpool 3, Sterling shines, Rogers revels in brilliant Liverpool win, Hull City 0, Arsenal 3, Podolski double, and Wenger said Ramsey and the coming back of Ozil made the difference for Arsenal. United want to keep Welbeck. They have no option, because if they don't try very much in the transfer window the next summer season, they may likely not get very good strikers for the team. And Everton to Manchester United 0, and La Liga, brilliant Messi rescues Barcelona in that very match they played from over the weekend. Tottenham hope to keep hold of Eriksen, and he's also been in good form for the team. Nuremberg won Leverkusen from Germany 4, and Dimitar Berbatov, we're being told, has fired Monaco past Nice in the French League 1. So those are the various sports stories that they've been reported in various news portals from across the globe and also in country. Well, that's it for sports this morning. It's brought to you by Carbell.